first things that I really wanted to talk about was really as a mother going out to other mothers, especially mothers of daughters who are choosing what to do with their children's hair. Something that I noticed with Cruz, so I don't know if you guys haven't been following my channel for a while, you may not know that I did for a time have a business where I was offering services for starting people's locks professionally. I have since taken a step back away from that. But I'm adding that information to say that that played a large part into why I decided to actually do my daughter's hair myself. Something that I realized after the fact is that, one, I think I did a phenomenal job with establishing her hair, if I do say so myself. But I will say that 2 years in, I realized something that I think anyone with locks kind of understands, that there's a level of permanency when it comes to locks. And so mistakes that are made during the establishment process are very difficult and at sometimes impossible to correct later on. So when you're dealing with your daughter, a little girl who is, because she is your child, really kind of hoping for you to make the best decision for her, you need to really ask yourself if going the DIY route or going the paid service route is really the best option for you. And you'll really need to be honest with yourself when making that decision. If you're someone who is really good with hair, you know how to part precisely, you're very confident in what you're doing, I would say going the DIY route for Microlocs or locks of any size for that matter is a good idea. But if you know that you kind of struggle in the hair department, I would strongly recommend that you consider going with a paid professional at the very least to establish your daughter's locks for you. And then if you decide that you want to take over the maintenance, that's perfectly fine. All that to say, looking back, I followed the Sisterlocks grid for establishing my daughter's hair to the T. Having more professional experience, having a bit of time to kind of figure out how I like grids to look, and what I prefer. If I could go back and do it all over again, I would actually probably not choose Sisterlocks again. I would instead choose a Microlocs grid. And the reason for that is because with the Sisterlocks system, it is intentionally designed in for the locks at the front to be smaller than the locks at the back. And I followed their system to a T because I wanted to make sure to give my daughter the best foundation possible. So I didn't take any shortcuts. I didn't get sloppy with my work at all. I was very precise in the way that I was parting her. Now, knowing what I know, I would probably scrap that, not do Sisterlocks again, do Microlocs and give her uniform locks all across her head the same size. Reason being is because the larger locks in the back of her head are, in my opinion, the perfect size. If anything, I would have made them maybe just a hair smaller, but the overall aesthetic would have probably been exactly the same. The real issue came in for me is that the locks at the front are very, very small. Fortunately for us, we haven't lost any locks. I think that she has very strong hair, and we've been being really diligent to take care of her roots and be very gentle with them as to not disrupt the strength of the foundation of her locks. But even still, they're a little bit too small for my liking. And so what I have done over the past couple of months is combine some of those. So knowing what I know now, I would have made the locks in the front the exact same size as the locks in the back. Would have given her a little bit of a difference of appearance, but not so much that it would have taken away from the overall beauty of her hair. All that to say, if you have a daughter who's going to be committing the full length of her hair and committing any length that she grows in the coming years with her locks, I would say you should ask yourself, are you the right person? Do you have the skill, the technical skill level to do a really good job at establishing her foundation? If not, going with a paid service to at the very least establish the locks for you and for her would probably be the best route, because again, adjusting things with the grid once locks have started to mature and form is really not an option, and you don't want any regrets, because with locks, I would recommend that you look at it as a permanent style. And so when you're dealing with what's not even your own hair, but someone else's hair, you want to try to make the best decision for them, especially if it's your daughter that we're talking about.